Yo, what is going on, guys? Thank you for joining me today. In this video I will be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to never die of spawn ever again and how to live through the early game in Fortnite way more often. So stay tuned and make sure you watch the video until the very end to find out the most important tip that will help you survive every single early game in Fortnite. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Max and I am a gaming video creator. I upload weekly videos that are focused on helping my lovely viewers get better at Fortnite, and I also do upload skin combo videos. I have helped thousands of people level up their game, whether it be in terms of their look in Fortnite or their game skill, and I genuinely hope I can do that once again for you today. And without any further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So the first thing we have to talk about that actually has happened in chapter 2 is the fact that chests have been updated to 100% spawn rate. And what this basically means for the game is that, rotations are going to be way more reliable and you can do whatever you want with that information. However, I would suggest, finding houses that actually have 2 or 3 chest spawns when you do land on them. And this is going to be especially important if you're going for hot drops, which I know a lot of people are probably, are doing that, because otherwise there wouldn't really be much point of watching this video, because hot drops is pretty much where you kind of need to survive. Quieter sort of spots are not as contested in this game anymore. I don't know if the floor spawns are also at 100% spawn rate now, but chest spawns should be enough, to be honest. Yeah, that's kind of something you have to take in, because if you didn't actually know that, then I'm quite surprised, because I have been finding a lot more chests without even knowing the fact that the chest spawns have been buffed to 100. But anyways, what also happened to chests is a lot of stuff got taken out of the game, so the loot pool is not as wide as it used to be in terms of the weaponry or the heals you could get. And what this means is you'll be getting better stuff, more often nowadays, and that's because a lot of useless sort of stuff got taken out. I can't really name anything at the top of my head right now, but I know that there has been a lot of crappy weapons before. Like, okay, I've got the automatic sniper rifle. That's one of those that just made the loot pool absolutely just crap. But the thing is, the FAMAS is still in the game along with the pistols, but the pistols have been buffed to full shot now, for a kill, so they're not as bad as they used to be. However, they're still not the greatest. And anyways, getting epic and legendary weapons is much harder now. They are quite a bit more rare. I don't know, I just haven't been finding epics or legendaries in chests as much, and that brings me on to the next point, which is actually you can get shotguns out of chests now, even tacticals and pumps, and that's crazy, because before this was a problem that a lot of people struggled with, because they would go for a chest and then the person at the bottom of their building would just get a shotgun, and that was quite problematic, because it's quite hard to beat a shotgun when you have an AR. So, and going back to the point where I actually pointed out that epics and legendaries are quite a bit rarer now, I don't think this will be a problem down the line, because epic will probably just add a lot more weapons into the game and balance the loot pool out a little bit more, but we'll have to see about that. Anyways, moving on to the next point, which is getting the best possible landing to actually survive the early game is very, very important. It's probably one of the most important tips on this list, because the earlier the land you actually have, the higher the chance that nobody will actually contest your building, which is another problem you run into when you actually start another game. And if you don't know how to perfect your landing, then basically just go into playground mode and drop in a couple of times from different angles, and I'm sure you'll be able to figure out the optimum sort of landing for the locations you normally drop at, and that will help you out a ton, guys, trust me. Anyways, another thing that I kind of wanted to point out is try to not contest people for the same sort of chest or floor or roof spawn, because you can never be too sure. And there's been plenty of times where I thought I would get the weapon, but at the last absolute second the other person would steal it from me. So I do advise not going for the same, you know, sort of spawn, even if it does give you a free kill. You know, like, you're better off just going for a chest that's uncontested and then slaying out the whole town after that. Anyways, moving into the final few points, we've got builds are very limited in the early game, as you all know, so make sure you do use natural cover such as fences and bushes, and also roof peaks if you have angles on your opponents. And you know, if you have an AR, then just spray down at your opponents and you'll actually be able to get a lot of third parties in, because you know, people aren't really careful when they are fighting in the open, as they don't have enough builds just like you. But you do have a better positioning on your opponents, which does give you the advantage in those situations. And also, whenever you are inside buildings in the early game, always try to look for right hand peaks. And I can't stress this enough, because a lot of people don't actually use this, and I don't understand why. I mean, you can exploit the right hand peak because this is a third person game, and it can pretty much give you free kills sometimes. At the least, you know, it will give you some damage knocked off of your opponent, which could be the difference between you staying alive and obviously dying. Yeah, it's just generally very important to use a right hand peaks in fights. And the last tip I really wanted to throw into this video is make sure you guys train your accuracy through aim courses and just playing a lot of solos. And this is very, very important for the early game, because you're not going to have a lot of builds, as I was saying a few tips ago. And basically what that means is you won't be able to, you know, just build away and sort of hide from your opponent to get heals off, and you're pretty much gonna have to fight it out. And what that means is the person with the better accuracy and positioning generally will win. So do make sure you practice those aspects of your game. But that is about it for today, guys. I really do hope this has helped you, and you know, if you do keep dying in the early game, don't be disappointed with yourself, because it is filled with luck at the end of the day more than anything. So don't be disappointed if you do die from things like third parties, especially if you go to hot drops, which I assume you do. And if you do, then just don't get frustrated, and it's all good, guys. At the end of the day, it is just a game. But on that note, the video does come to an end, and let me know what you thought of that. Make sure to give me some feedback in the comments, and also, you know, comment a video suggestion for the next upload, and I'll definitely consider making that video. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe with notifications on to never miss another upload ever again, and make sure to check out some of the videos up on the screen right now.